for joining us. I'm Jano Lieber, MTA Chair and CEO. I'm here with my colleague, MTA C&D President Jamie Torres-Springer, and Controller Tom DiNapoli, who is a great partner, and you'll hear from in a moment. I also just want to acknowledge other partners who are here. Melva Miller, a board member of somewhat recent vintage, but already having a high impact. Randy Glucksman, a long-running, albeit non-voting board member. Thank you for being here. Rachel Faust is one of the lead people at Reinvent Albany, which is, I think, of all the advocacy organizations, the one most focused on government transparency, and we're glad that you're able to join us, as well as MTA leadership. So here's the bottom line. In recent years, we have heard a lot about government transparency, and Governor Hochul made it a priority from the jump when she came in. At the MTA, we get it, and we have responded by, over the last couple of years, making literally billions and billions of lines of data available online. We are proud that Reinvent Albany, which is, as I said, the leading advocate for government transparency, acknowledge that the MTA has made that progress, and that we now, as you said, Rachel, represent the gold standard for government transparency. But there has been one area where additional progress was needed, and that's data on our capital program, the largest capital program in MTA history. And so today we are taking a huge step, and the reason we're doing this in a public announcement is we really want to make sure the public becomes aware that all this information is becoming available. And we're launching a new and very much improved MTA capital program dashboard. This dashboard is going to be the one-stop shop for tracking the status, timeline, and budget for MTA capital projects and the procurements that put them in motion. Whether you're a journalist, a transit advocate, a researcher, or just a curious commuter who wants to know more about where the money's going and how it's being spent. Frankly, our old capital program dashboard, and we've had one for more than 10 years, but it was a bit of a mess. It was hard to navigate. It had lots of esoteric budget codes on it. We don't want to do that anymore. We want to make it easy to use. The controller, in particular, challenged us to do better in this area. And now we are doing what we always want to be doing, which is showing our work like no other government agency out there. It's not a moment too soon because, as I said, we've just set in motion, thanks to Governor Hochul, with the support of the state legislature, the new MTA $68 billion capital program. And it prioritizes important and critical, but sometimes hard to see infrastructure repairs. And you've heard me talk about it before. We're going to finally fix things like the power system, the structures, the tunnel and elevated structures that have been neglected for so long, the signal system. It's all a little hard to see for the public, and we want to make sure that everybody knows what we're doing and that we're making progress. So the dashboard's going to highlight, and hopefully in a readable and streamlined format, the massive number and scale of the projects underway, so folks can see how the projects are progressing, particularly projects that are impacting on your commute. We all know that when you see a project going on and it is impacting on service or weekend outages or the timeliness of your commute, you want to know that it's progressing as quickly as possible, and this is hopefully going to help you understand that. It's also going to make clear where the money's coming from, especially if it's being funded by congestion pricing revenues, another fact that I think our ridership wants to know about. Look, listen, this kind of transparency is key to building public trust. This isn't the old MTA that more often than not went over budget and sometimes behind schedule on capital projects. Under Jamie's leadership, C&D is knocking out projects on time, on budget, frequently under budget, and we want the public to see it and gain confidence from that track record. So we're going to hear from the controller and from Jamie, and then I think that we're going to have a presentation by, James Splendor, who is the Assistant Director for Content and Digital Strategy, and he's going to give you a live demonstration of how this new dashboard works and how it can be use. But first, I want to turn it over to our partner in everything, but especially in these transparency efforts, Controller of the State of New York, Tom DiNapoli.
Thank you, Jano. Thank you. Thank you, Jano, very much. Today is a big day, an important day. This is a wonderful announcement, a wonderful step forward. It's also a great day, as I told Jano. I used the tap and ride for the first time on the 5 train, and it worked. First try, first try, first try. Of course it worked. So to Jano and Jamie and the entire MTA team, thank you for inviting me to be part of today's announcement and demonstration. Like most New Yorkers and our representatives and advocates who are here, when it comes to the MTA, we all have great ideas about how things could be made better. Jano hears that from us on a regular basis. But we're here today because the MTA is doing something better, and Jano and the team deserve to be lauded and applauded for that. The MTA's central challenge is bringing riders back. We all know that, certainly coming out of the COVID years, and restoring fare box revenue, such an essential part of the revenue stream for the MTA. Fare-paying riders are the heartbeat of the transit system. You can't achieve pre-pandemic levels of ridership unless you improve the safety, reliability, and frequency of service. And that means tracking data and capital investment in trains and buses and bridges and tracks and signals and in stations. These are the critical projects that can bring riders back. It's not easy, it's complex, progress can be incremental. The data isn't always there, or if it's there, it's not easily accessible. It's vital that we keep an eye on capital work, especially now with so much uncertainty around federal funding and with the MTA embarking on its ambitious over $68 billion capital program that Jano referenced. Those of us who watch the MTA need to know what projects are being prioritized and their status. As Jano well knows, and I appreciate his mentioning it, my office has called for more transparency, along with reInvent Albany and others, and clarity in the details so people can understand what the work means for them. This dashboard is a real step in that direction. It provides details on capital work that are now bundled in a way that lets riders see how their line or station is affected without cobbling together multiple line items in the capital plan. This means riders can better understand the larger purpose of the project and see how smaller projects may affect their station or line. The MTA has assured us that there's more to come, but this is true progress and it should be noted. For us and for the press, and for strap hangers, and for users of the system, there's a lot of information here. There's detailed information in this dashboard on how and where money is being spent and where work is being done. And it's focused on the MTA's customers. It would be great to see not only the projects that started during the 2025-29 capital program reflected here, but also the projects from past capital programs that are still being worked on or have not yet begun. I know some of those older projects are included, particularly the ADA compliant ones, but there's more that could be included. This would show us the bigger picture of the projects that are complete, the ones that are still in progress, and those that have yet to start. In this environment of funding uncertainties, it also would be helpful to see which projects are being or expected to be funded with non-MTA funding sources, especially federally funded projects. We'd like to see the dashboard link projects to changes in on-time performance, ridership, and other performance indicators. This would help everyone understand how these investments are affecting service for better, or perhaps in some cases for worse, but certainly we expect for better. You can have all the technology, the trackers, the dashboards, the apps you want, but they have to connect to everyday people if they are going to make a difference and if they're going to help. So we're excited to make use of this dashboard. My team is ready to go with it. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing, a public transit system that provides safe, reliable, and frequent service that riders can afford. It's what keeps our regional economy moving and strong. So again, congratulations to Jano and the team. This is very important work. This is a great day, and I really appreciate your including me in the announcement today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Comptroller. It's great to have you here. I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate the launch of the new capital program dashboard, really Cyber Monday for transit nerds today. We talk all the time about how we've created and continue to build a best-in-class capital delivery agency for the MTA so we can continue to invest in our region's mass transit system and do so in a way that's better, faster, and cheaper. No question, today is a big step in that direction, and it's enabled by what we've built at MTA Construction and Development. That's because accountability, transparency, use of cutting-edge tech and data tools are not just good policy ideas. They push us to deliver on time and on budget. We welcome them. They enable us to deliver capital improvements that are in the best interest of New Yorkers because of the public input that they facilitate as well. So we're excited about this. Let me just outline what the features are of this release that improve accountability. And I'll note they are what our elected partners and advocate groups have been asking us for. First of all, we're preserving all of the data in the existing version. So, clunky it is and unwieldy, but there's a lot of good stuff in there that we heard people wanted us to preserve. We're adding a slew of new user-friendly features that provide a clear picture of budgets and schedules, more dynamic search and sort features, geolocation, even links to our This Week in Construction newsletter, which is about to celebrate its one-year anniversary. We modernized how we report about projects. We always talk about bundling at C&D. As our projects have become more complex, we needed to enable reporting and tracking of those projects. And as you'll see in a minute, we've done that in an intuitive way. The best part, all of the data that you see on the dashboard is linked with New York State open data and will be available 24/7 for download at data.ny.gov. As some of our longtime power users of the existing dashboard, I have to thank our advocates and elected partners for their input the whole way. We even got more input from the controller in real time today, which we appreciate and we're taking on board and we'll be sure to include. This has been a collaborative process from the start, and we're going to continue that well after launch. In addition to us being available for feedback, there's a feedback form on the dashboard, and we're asking the public for input as we build out new features, some of which are already in the works for 2026 implementation. Lastly, a couple thank yous inside the MTA. This has been a real labor of love, and I want to thank the C&D team and other colleagues responsible for creating this. Kevin Klein, under the leadership of Jessica Matthew, Alyssa Cobb-Conan, who's here, Drew and Kalen, who are here, built this tool from the ground up, found a lot of ways to translate all this complicated data. Kevin is even the anonymous author of the blog posts that we've been putting up called Behind the Capital Program Dashboard, which are fascinating reading for those of you that are interested in this subject matter. And also James Splendori and Sean Fitzpatrick from our office who manage the development and deployment of this dashboard. So thank you. And with that, I want to ask James from our office to give a short demonstration of how this dashboard works.
And just for the 50 or so newsrooms that are watching online, this is live. This is not a recorded presentation. No safety net, coming right off the internet. James.
Thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy today to honestly take a little bit of credit for the great work that our team has done and also walk you through some of these features that are part of this brand new tool, as Tim mentioned. So as Tim mentioned, we're live in the dashboard. What you're seeing is what I'm doing exactly here. And you could also do this on any device at home at capitaldashboard.mta.info. And you can follow along with me if you'd like. But what I'd like to start with is the home page of the dashboard, which is the map. So this is a new and improved map with both a New York City and a regional view. So for those folks in Long Island and Metro North service territory as well, there's something for you as well. But our New York City view is where we'll start. So here's where users can really navigate around the system to view the stations and the lines that are receiving infrastructure upgrades as part of the capital program. If you're curious about work that's happening either in your neighborhood or on your daily ride, this map is perhaps the easiest way to find the station you're thinking about or the location and really dig in. But let's use Broadway Junction as our example for today. Here, I'll scroll to the location on the map, find Broadway Junction, and click right in. So, what's happening here? This is a page like any other active construction page that's going to highlight, in this case, the accessibility and structural improvements that are going on at the complex as we speak. So up top are really the basics. It's a brief description, status of the project, and more. Our advocates have long asked for third-party contract information, and we listened. Here you can see the contract number, in this case the prime contractor, and our design build, so our delivery model as well. But this page has so much more than that. Our budget and timeline. Here is really the meat of each project. If you see the full accounting of the project budget and timeline are always featured right here. This is where users can tell how a project is progressing, and importantly, when they can see or expect for it to be completed. Let's start with the budget here on the left. This is the construction budget as set as the baseline when the project was awarded, and you can also see this over time with our quarterly updates. The roughly $380 million budget set, as you can see here, it's unchanged. That means this project has remained on budget. Meanwhile, the green line you see here shows expenditures to date. So right here, you see our $380 million budget remains unchanged. This project remains on budget, and we've expended about $87 million. Now, on the right, let's talk about the timeline. So all the way from procurement start here, November 2022, all the way through when this project gets closed out with construction closeout, all of our major timeline points are going to be shown right here. We've even added mentions in the newsletter, as Jamie mentioned, so if you want to really understand what's happening in the field, you can follow these links here and get an even deeper dive. Each project page at the top also has a shareable URL, so you can send this page to anyone. Your community members, friends, and even our transit reporters here can get this link sent directly into their inbox or text message, and they can see the same information that we're seeing here. But if you're not exactly sure what you're looking for, we have a couple of solutions for you there too. So let's get out of this page here and go back to our handy map. Now, this isn't just a map. This is also a table showing details on every project that's available through the dashboard. New search and sort filters also mean that you can find projects using just about any relevant phrase. Let's head to Queens for this one. So if we type in Queens in our search filter, you will see projects that touch any piece or are named in any place that say Queens. You can also find the transit services that serve that borough, or if the case of Brooklyn or any other places, you'll see as well. I'm jumping ahead a bit. You'll see the transit services with more details and projects as well. But we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Let's talk a little bit about initiatives. So projects can be found in many ways, as I mentioned here. But in this case, our initiatives are the topic areas that we talk about the most. So, as mentioned previously, our accessibility projects, resilience and sustainability are here up top. But there's also things like signal modernization, safety, and even the projects that have been enabled by congestion relief. Those brand new to the MTA or the capital program in general have an option to find projects by those transit services we mentioned. So, our drop down here, we have the project map and table, which you've all seen. We have more information for those who really want to dig into the budget, our initiatives, and if you're just interested in the train you take every day, our transit lines here. Here we break out projects by not only New York City Transit, but our regional rails, as well as bridges and tunnels. Let's take the A train. As an A train rider, as I mentioned, you can see all the projects in the dashboard, all the way from Inwood to the Rockaways. For a rider, this is the clearest picture of how the capital program is improving their everyday commute. You could scroll down here and see in table form not only complete projects, but those that are active and those that are in the procurement pipeline. So let's head back home and talk about what's happening next. So this dashboard is being launched in beta mode with a limited set of initial projects that include active accessibility projects. So those are projects that you're seeing out in the field now that are improving accessibility across the system. There's also projects, if we scroll here, that are in upcoming or active procurement, so those that are in the procurement pipeline, as well as candidate locations that were named in the 25 to 29 program. So for those of you that have really dug into that, those are the locations that are way in the back of that and that we plan to address as part of the plan. But for those who want to do their own analysis, as Jamie mentioned, we have an export data button here. And all this data is available on New York's open data portal, including even more on the data sets that underpin this dashboard, including a data dictionary if you'd like to understand more about what each field means. New projects will be added throughout next year, including a 2025 construction awards, and we're also going to be implementing new features like data visualization and more detailed milestone tracking. All of this, everything you saw today and everything you may see later, excuse me, is really in service of making this the most transparent capital program in MTA's history. Thank you.
Thank you very much, James. It's really exciting to see it that way. One more quick thank you, just because I know they're watching, which is our budget group, our development department at C&D. Everybody knows it's not easy for budget folks to get beyond the way things are done, have always been done. And moving to this dashboard, this way of reporting has been a very big collaboration with them. And so we're very proud and happy for that partnership. Another great partnership is with reInvent Albany, and a really easy way to build this dashboard with reference to what outside stakeholders and advocates would want was, I think, us just sitting around and saying, what would Rachel Foss want in a dashboard? And essentially that's what we delivered. And so we're very pleased that Rachel's here, and ask her to make a few remarks.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Rachel Foss. I'm the Senior Policy Advisor for reInvent Albany. We advocate for more transparent and accountable New York government, including authorities like the MTA. Thanks for inviting me here to share in the good news. Oh, thank you. To share in the good news that the MTA has completed a major upgrade to its capital dashboard. This powerful tool has new features which show New Yorkers the progress the MTA has made rebuilding and modernizing the subways, buses, and commuter railroads. Here are the top 4 things that we like about the new dashboard. Number 1, it is powered by open data. The dashboard pulls all data from the public data on the open data portal. From the get-go, the MTA's capital construction team has been working with the MTA open data team to ensure the MTA's major transparency initiatives are fully integrated. Number 2, it shows New Yorkers that congestion pricing is delivering. New Yorkers have more confidence in the MTA when they can see for themselves exactly how congestion pricing money is being used to help get them where they are going. Number 3, it was built in-house. It's a win-win for the public and state government when agencies and authorities invest in-house in talented staff who can build and maintain technology platforms like the MTA Capital Dashboard. Not only is this a better use of tax or fare-paid dollars, there are many internal benefits to agencies, like being able to quickly adapt to changing technologies and public expectations. And as you all know, we have a lot of expectations. Number 4, it shows the names of vendors and contract numbers for individual projects. This is a first. Previously, the public had to connect the dots of MTA capital projects through the dashboards, MTA board books, and other sources to find this information. reInvent Albany and our colleagues have been asking for a better capital dashboard for years, and we greatly appreciate the work of the MTA capital and open data teams that they put into this and the support that they got from senior management. MTA open data is on a roll, and we look forward to seeing even more data available. For example, customer survey information, customer complaint information in the near future, hopefully on the open data portal. Like the capital dashboard, publishing data that shows riders the MTA is managing service based on facts and data will help transit leaders explain the challenges to our beloved transit system. Thank you again to MTA leadership and the MTA open data and capital teams.
And I just want to sort of reemphasize, Rachel's been a great partner, Tom and the controller has been a great partner, but a lot of the progress in open data came in the wake of Governor Hochul's initiative. She came in August of 2021 and almost, I think within a month or two, issued a new executive order on open data, and we hopped to it, and a lot of progress that we've made followed on Governor Hochul's leadership, and we're proud to be building on that as well. So with that, Tim, maybe we'll take some questions.
Sure.
Hopefully on topic. But
Yeah, well, we'll start on topic, and James will be around for the reporters in the room after we're finished. If you have deep dive questions on how it works, you can get those answered. Let's start the question with Andrew Siff of WNBC.
We're going to have to go to the jury to determine whether or not this question is on topic, but it does involve Governor Hochul and billions of dollars. So it's up to Mr. Minton over there.
We'll let you know soon enough.
Okay.
I think you've already answered the question, Andrew.
So the question is, today the governor referenced the money that is going to be coming to the MTA from the casino licenses, which have now essentially been greenlit. $1.5 billion from the application fees alone, plus a projected amount of billions in gaming revenue. Can you tell New Yorkers where that money goes? Will they be able to track that money in the same way, or is that operating capital?
Yeah, I think you know this, Andrew. That money was committed to the MTA in 2023 as part of the solution to make sure that we could continue to operate not just the service that we have and have had since before COVID, but even more service. So when the governor stepped up in 2023 and dealt with the operating budget challenges coming out of COVID, the casino license revenue was part of that. Now, we have added service like crazy, and I'm very proud to say that even though we've added huge amounts of subway service and commuter rail service and accessor ride and even buses, we are the MTA today, and even though we're operating that Grand Central Madison terminal, which costs like a couple $100 million a year to operate, we're still operating at a lower cost in real terms than we were before COVID. That's a sign that the governor's investment, the legislature's investment in the MTA has paid off. We are more efficient today than we were a couple of years ago.
Just to follow up on that, this casino revenue, this is something you've already budgeted and planned for, or will this produce something that the public goes, boy, this was worth it?
You know what the public loves? They love having every train and bus that's scheduled show up, and that's what that has enabled us to do, and to add additional service, more frequent service, especially nights and weekends. That's what that's paid for, because almost all the operating budget, as folks know, goes to pay wages and benefits and pensions. It goes to the people who run the MTA, and that's what we get. We get service and good service and better service out of that money.
Let's go to a man who may not sleep till Saturday, looking through all the stuff on this site. Dave Colon of Streets Blog. His editors love this. Dave.
Always tweaking out on open data. That's me. This is cool, but I don't have any questions about it until I start messing around with it. So I wanted to ask you about the Interborough Express. I went to a town hall in Middle Village the other day.
This feels a little off topic, Dave.
What?
Little off topic-y, but go ahead. Go ahead.
That was extremely off topic, and I thought that we've dispensed with the topics.
Please proceed.
Now that Andrew's ruined everything. I was at this town hall.
It's untransparent of you to fake it as an on-topic, but go ahead.
In Middle Village, and there is a groundswell of people who say, we do not want this train to come here. The city council member-elect, Phil Wong, was even telling his constituents, you got to talk to Joe Adabo and make sure that he tanks this up in Albany, that the train doesn't come here. And the current city council member, Bob Holden, told a reporter the other day that he was told at the town hall that the MTA doesn't even have the okay to use the right-of-way as of right now to do the project. So I guess, one, can you respond to the current council member? And are you concerned at all that there's people in Middle Village are saying this will be the crime and drugs train?
Dave, I'm from New York. When there is any project, there are going to be people who are for it, and there are going to be people who are against it. We all know that. I spent 14 years working on the World Trade Center. There was a lot of controversy, but we got it done, and it has hugely improved Lower Manhattan. By the same token, what we're concerned about is that hundreds of thousands of people are going to have their commutes shortened and their lives improved by turning this owned by this MTA right-of-way, it is owned by the MTA, into a light rail operation that's going to benefit huge numbers of people. The governor always talks about saving people time. This is the ultimate in that. Instead of having to spend an hour and a quarter going through Manhattan, if you want to get from Queens to Brooklyn, you'll be able to go straight in 30 minutes. It is a huge benefit project, but we understand there will always be people who have different views, and we're going to hear them out. But the project is well underway, and the governor is leading the way.
All right, let's go to Alfonso Castillo, who came all the way in on the train because the people of Long Island have an insatiable appetite for capital programs and the dashboard. Alfonso, from Newsday TV.
Are we good with off topic?
We're on topic now.
On topic. Okay, a simple one. I know you mentioned you could see projects that are complete? So how far back can you look at a project? Would I be able to pull up Third Track or East Side Access, something like that?
Yeah, so the current set of projects are either upcoming projects or the active projects are accessibility. So in case of Long Island Railroad, we have our active ADA Package 1 and 2 there. Our 2026 goal is to bring in those historical projects, the 20 to 24 projects that are probably more on your mind.
All right, Michelle Caskey right there from Bloomberg News. Michelle?
Hi, actually an on-topic question. So there was federal funds have been brought up. So what you're saying is as of now, there's no way to see the federal funds that are pledged to some of these projects and the progress in terms of how much of that money have you received or not received yet?
Well, no, the split in funding sources isn't available through this, but it's obviously available from other sources.
But we're going to add it.
We hope that will be.
And
We'll bring that on.
you're going to consider adding it? Yeah.
We're more than consider. We're going to add it. How about
Okay.
that? Okay.
All right. Evan on topic today. Simko Bednarski from the New York Daily News.
I
Evan.
feel like I should have an off topic. I apologize that I don't. Again, on federally funded projects, there have been some questions about the transparency of the PMOC reports, the project management oversight reports. Is there any, when you guys get those from the feds, will those be available through this?
You're talking about the independent program management reports for Second Avenue Subway Phase 2? Is that what you're describing?
Yes, or any sort of, any of the projects that receive federal money that will generate those in the future.
Well, those are reports that that entity is making to the federal government. So I think it's up to them to decide how they want to release them or not release them.
Okay. So you guys won't be making that.
Again, it's not our report. It's a report from a consultant to their client, the federal government.
Thank you.
All right, other on topic. Sam, you got what? No? Lila? Off topic? Anybody on topic? Great. We're going to head toward the off topic portion. We invite you to, if you choose, excuse yourselves. Mr. Controller, we never know where this is going to go. You have experience. It's up to you.
I like watching Janos.
Okay, he's staying. Controller stays.
I'll protect his back.
Jamie is staying. And we will start with Lila McGuckin right back there from Fox 5. Lila.
Hi, Lila.
Okay. Hello. Okay, so totally out of left field here. We're doing a story on the
Yeah, I'm
L.
shocked.
We're doing a story on the L train and how people have been complaining that it's really dirty, a lot of grime on the outside. People are saying that they can't even see.
Yes, I know. We both
windows.
read Gothamist. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. You're
So
cutting edge there. Go ahead.
we're just wondering if you have any comment on that.
The like many things in our capital program, we're fixing things that were neglected in the past. Among those is a car washing. We have a couple of them in the system. A car washing machine that was well beyond its useful life, and it broke down. We have a contract that's underway right now to fix it and replace it. In the meantime, all those cars are all being cleaned on the inside, so the passenger experience is going to be maintained. And we're obviously rushing along the contract to fix this thing. But the key is, like a lot of other stuff in the capital program, we have to fix the things that people before didn't have the money or for whatever reason didn't get to, and we are fixing it with the capital program that the governor helped us get.
And then does this also impact the cleanliness of the inside of cars as
No.
well? Okay.
All right, so we move on to Samantha Liebman, who's right down there from New York 1. Sam?
I guess this could have been related to the Capitol dashboard, but an Instagram account caught the fare gates being removed from one entrance at the Atlantic Avenue, Barclays Center Station. It's almost the end of the year, and the governor wanted 20 stations to have those new fare gates. Do we know when and where all of these are going to be yet?
Sherlock got nothing on you, Samantha. Sherlock Holmes. So yes, we are putting in the pilot. One of the locations for the piloting of the new fare gates is that Atlantic and 4th Avenue entrance, which I use a lot. And this morning I went to Barclays entrance instead. Jamie, do you want to comment on the overall outlook?
Well, we're in the midst of a competition amongst 4 really impressive international companies that are making prototype fare gates for us to install in the system. We're getting as many of them installed as we can over the next few weeks, and then riders and the public will have an opportunity to see how they work before we see how we move forward. And just as a reminder, the big target here is to get 150 stations worth of fare gates installed with a $1.2 billion investment in this 25 to 29 capital plan. So that's definitely our focus, and it is moving forward.
Can we see that on this dashboard?
Not today.
Not today, not today. Also,
It's a pilot program.
okay,
It's a
all right.
pilot.
Can I just ask, why can't you transfer the balance of a Metro card onto an Omni card at any token booth, since you could do that from MetroCard to MetroCard at a token booth? Why is that not possible? Because I'm hearing complaints that people have to seek out these customer service centers.
There's always the glass half full way of looking at the world or the glass completely empty way of looking at the world. There didn't used to be customer service centers. It used to be that you had to bring your Metro cards, you had to mail them in many cases, or you had to come down to Stone Street at the MTA headquarters. We have 30 customer service centers where people can go and trade in Metro cards to get new value, equivalent value on their Omni. And that number, we've been pushing that number up, so that we can make sure that everybody is able to transfer their balances. Something you want to say? Go ahead. And we're no secret, we're still accepting MetroCard even after the New Year's when we will stop selling them, but we're accepting them for when people have value left on them, they'll use it. So I'm actually thrilled about the customer service centers. And among other things, the customer service centers are also signing people up for fair fares, which wasn't happening fast enough for my taste, and we decided to take it into our own hands, even though the city is responsible for that. So we're doing a lot at those customer service centers.
All right, one more. Alfonso, you had something else? Yeah? Yes. Okay, last one. Controller, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
Actually,
Having us back.
He's backing away, though, have you noticed?
It's Alfonso now, we don't know.
That's right, and I'll invite you to weigh in on this because I think it affects your purview also. We are once again inching toward a potential Long Island Railroad strike. The next deadline now coming sometime in mid-January. We were obviously just here a few months ago. Anything new to report? I know that there was some kind of hearing involving the MTA and labor with the National Mediation Board. The way unions say it, they've said they're good with the Presidential Emergency Board's recommendations as kind of a new starting point for negotiations. The way they describe it, the MTA answer was we need to throw out the Railway Labor Act and that it's unfair. Anything you could say about how things are going and whether the MTA has any plans to ask for another presidential emergency board?
You're characterizing the MTA's position. I think the MTA's position is we had concerns about the fairness of this when President Trump put a member of the union that is threatening to strike on the Presidential Emergency Board to make recommendations. Not a shock that we would have questions about the fairness of the response. But the bigger issue, Alfonso, is we say, let's negotiate. Let's get together, come in right away, start negotiating, and they haven't been willing to meet with us. So we'll keep saying it, let's negotiate. We are ready to sit down at the table with these unions and negotiate. That's the way you get deals done, not by releasing press statements. We're ready to sit down anytime, anywhere. The unions have refused to meet us.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate your being here. Thanks, everybody. Reminder for the people in the room, James Splendor available if you want to do a deeper dive into the dashboard. Looking at you, Dave Colon. Thanks again.